Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Andromeda Adventures. We are here for Endara the Second Age, and not only do we have everybody with us from all of your favorites, Nick, Evan, David, James, and Kovac, but we are also joined by our wonderful new player, Kira. So it's going to be a fun, great session. There's going to be heartbreak intros, exits, and it's going to be wonderful. And of course, I have to burp right now. Um, right when we go live. Isn't it wonderful? Um, all right. So, not many announcements tonight. We're just happy to have you all with us. And with that, James, will you cue our intro as we get into tonight's episode? Welcome back. As we get started for tonight, Garth, will you please catch our audience up on what happened last time on Endara the Second Age?
Oh, I very well could. Last time we were all at the chateau. I think we just woke up actually, and a man named Silco had stopped by our chateau and told us to stay away from the ring, that he had it covered, or else. I think he meant he would kill us. I'm not sure, but he did seem a little scary. After he had left, Magna and I decided to go shopping. Or I took Magna along because she's better at getting around the city than I am. Bought a couple maps, and I had purchased some clothes I need to pick up in 2 days. When we had gotten back to the chateau, we decided to check out Madame du Pompadour's, and it was an inn that adventurers go to. Uh, and once we arrived, we met Madame du Pompadour, and Antoine was there. Antoine, the man from the caravan that were hired to protect. Uh, a couple of us went to talk to a man in the library. I don't know who exactly, but I'd want to talk to Leon, a Marcusian dragonborn who really wanted to fight somebody. So I swiftly introduced him to Hadrian, and they got along pretty well. They started fighting. Afterwards, he talked about his family a little bit, his sister, who's smarter than him, and his dad, I think, who is the leader of Marcus through strength alone. Uh, Once that was over with, Pastor and Magnar introduced me to a Grigori, as a half-orc gentleman who wants to speak to Narlia, who is the same goddess that had talked to me a while back. I can't remember when. And I believe that is about what happened last time.
All right. We're going to pick up. It is about 3 or 4 in the morning as you guys are finally leaving Madame de Pompadour's after all the festivities, heading back to your room. Hadrian has settled in to nap and rest at Madame de Pompadour's small atrium and garden inside. You guys do eventually return home, and you do notice that there seem to be more guards out on this particular evening as you're walking back. None of them seem to be giving you guys any trouble, but they seem to be searching for people or someone in patrol. And with Stora, Magnar, and Garth, as you return to the chateau, you hear a mad scramble, shuffling around, rambling, a familiar voice, stuff being kind of moved and pushed around, and someone kind of talking to themselves as you come around the corner to find Addis, seemingly working on a project. Addis, would you like to explain what you are working on and what they're hearing you say?
Yeah, so in about the center of the chateau, Addis has pulled a bunch of the tables and has tried to position sort of a board and has a few chairs nearby. It's sort of an odd, almost like a tea party sort of look. And on this board, he has pinned multiple different objects, ranging from a pine cone, a library card, a key, some dolls. There even seems to be like some like a strange like handkerchief. All of these bizarre things, as well as some letters and bits. At the very center of this conspiracy board is a pear. And sitting in one of the chairs near Addis is a skeleton where the head doesn't quite seem to match the body. The head looks human. If anyone remembers Yorick skeleton, that's the head, but the body of the skeleton doesn't. It seems to be of a different race, maybe like some sort of like dragonborn. And he is currently taking a dollhouse that is unfinished, and he is trying to use bits of furniture to complete it. As you just sort of hear him whispering, like I think I got it. York, shut up. No, if I need to take the rock and the ruby, and if we can connect points A and B, it'll make C, and that'll solve. I got it.
And you turn around and see the rest of the party having walked in. We will briefly cut to outside the chateau as the rest of you stare at Addis in wonderment and confusion. Anaïs,
So
you have been following a particular investigation, and events tonight have led you to believe that things happened. Following through in the lead of looking for one of the suspects that was seen fleeing the Musée de Croix, that you have a particular familiarity with, you have tracked them down to this particular house. Currently, under the protection and ownership of the Prismari house and Gilles, and you watch as 3 figures walk into the house and notice a distinct lack of one you had expected to find. A little bit of relief washes over you. And you can hear you've been briefly kind of keeping your eye on this house for the last 20 minutes to kind of get a feeling for what's going on. You've been hearing the occasional shouting inside the house from a very large entity. That's a little surprising. But as you watch them walk into the house, Garth, Magnar, and Westora, will you please describe your characters? What this particular individual would see as they see you walk in.
Well, Westora is an Eladrin. If your character knows what those are, sort of blue skin, blue hair, has sort of a white, wintry look to it, almost ice-like. Little bits of purple, perhaps here and there. She wears a blue sort of tunic with a light blue shirt and blue trousers. And she walks probably with a little bit of an air of, I wouldn't want to say haughtiness, but perhaps sort of a sense that she is very considers herself a bit higher up on the hog, perhaps. It kind of comes through in the way she walks. So yes, that's probably, I think, a good introduction to what Westora looks like.
Magnar?
Okay, so Magnar is a average height for a dwarf. He's walking around the sea, but he's wearing his clerical robes. You'll notice the sort of anvil and hammer symbol emblazoned on the fabric. It's looking a little worse for wear. sort of by comparison to how immaculate Westora's clothing looks, Magnus is looking quite shabby at this point. As a shield that's actually looking slightly too big for him, strapped to his back, and an odd assortment of things clipped to his belt that are sort of clinking and clanking as he walks, and he's mostly just sort of looking at his feet and shuffling along. Yeah.
All right. And Garth.
You would see Garth probably as the last figure. He's a half orc, standing about 6'11", more on the bigger side of things. He's wearing just simple furs and some leathers. Bow always on him, kind of just over his shoulder, being tailed by a bear, who is, you would notice he's like, looks like a normal brown bear, but has splotches of white fur kind of out throughout him. And yeah, he's probably popping his head over his shoulder every once in a while, looking around, being in the rear.
All right. So, Addis, you can still feel that thing out of the corner of your eye, watching you. And Alex says, buddy, I don't think you've quite figured it out. Don't think it has anything to do with the bears, really.
No, I'm sure. Children of Tiamat, they're allergic. I think this is the key on how we kill the dragon. If I shove it down their throat, they'll choke and die. It's the
That
solution.
would mean standing up to it, though. You kind of ran away from it the last time.
I could throw it. Why don't you do it if you're just not so?
Kind of hard in this body. I don't think it quite
do
fits.
what
You should
exactly?
probably give me a different one.
We're hearing Addis just
right.
talking to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could put you on Barry. I don't.
Oh,
Sorry.
We tried that once, but no, I'm not very good at riding on Berry.
Oh no! I'm the skeleton.
You're the what?
Sorry, I don't mean to
What?
demean you, York.
Where did
you
you
have an
get
explanation.
a skeleton from?
Mm-hmm.
Well, skeletons, by the looks of it, if I'm not mistaken.
Where do you think you get skeletons from?
Did you kill somebody?
What,
Have
he'd
you
have
been
to kill
raiding
him
a
and
local
then boil him in
graveyard?
acid for quite some time to end up with a skeleton. It's not like it's
Exactly. Yeah. No, I wouldn't have. That would be crazy. Who would do that?
I think a graveyard, like within a really old grave, would be a
Gra-
place to find
grave. A graveyard. Yeah. No, that would make sense. Yes.
She's going to want to see you in the graveyard later tonight. All of them.
Addis, are you feeling okay?
Me? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm great.
Yeah. Who are you talking to?
He's talking to
talking to
me,
you
I
guys.
think.
No, when you turn that way and talk, who are you talking to?
Yeah. Before we said something to you, you were already talking to somebody.
Oh yeah.
Who was that?
Who?
It's all
Oh,
right.
just,
You can tell them. We're friends, ain't we?
Are we friends? I feel like it's too early to put a name on this relationship. Like we're
Gotta talk to someone.
See, right
I'm not
now you're
always gonna
talking
be
to
a-
somebody.
Oh yeah, I'm talking to you all as a group.
Right,
Why
well, I
don't you
hope
look
we've
at this
established by this point whether we're friends or not.
I mean, does Barry can't establish?
Sure he can.
Oh.
Are we friends, Barry?
As you hear Barry kind of talking to you, and he looks at you and he says, "Well, you give me a drink. We're always friends. We've been friends for a while. You bought me a drink in the bar, and we were all hanging out and drinking. We went into that weird dream thing, and there was a bunch of
That is very true. Yeah, no. See, Barry gets it, guys.
Wait, now
Then
you're
you
talking
understand him too.
Yep. It's part of my wizardly abilities.
Insight check.
Okay, make an insight check.
I can see which way that's going to
Psychological evaluation check? Psychoanalysis? Oh, wrong. That's a wrong game.
17.
He believes it.
He believes it.
Wait, do I roll the thing?
What's interesting, though, Garth, you almost get the impression from your ability to kind of read and communicate with Barry, he does seem to be understanding Barry, at least on some level.
Oh.
I do, in fact, have comprehend languages. It just also works for bears now.
Just to back up a little, skeleton. You got it from
Hmm.
where?
Graveyard.
Oh, you're just saying that because we said graveyard.
No.
You're a really bad liar. You know that, right?
You feel a hand creep onto your shoulder, Addis. Multiple fingers, 6, kind of holding you there as you try and brush it off. And something leans in next to your ear and whispers, "It's all right, my child. They might not understand, but they will soon. Just as you will. That's all you really wanted, isn't it? Help them understand. Help them see."
Anyway,
and
you
there's a
guys
knock at the door.
Oh boy. Sounds like the zombies are here. We should go answer that.
Maybe put the skeleton away.
I think
before we
we'll
answer
just
the door.
take whoever it is into the kitchen, maybe.
Addis will pick up the skeleton and put it on his back.
All right.
How do you keep the bones together? You're able to
Magic.
pick up a whole skeleton?
Yeah, magic.
Here's a wizard.
I'm a wizard.
I've never quite
Yeah.
understood that particular point.
Knock at the door
really
again.
a wizard.
No, I got that much.
Yeah, you should.
Despite having no ability to perform any kind of magical feat whatsoever has slightly bewildered me.
I throw my axe at the door to open it.
So there's a loud thump as the wooden door, and you can see wood split on the end. Anaïs, as what looks like some kind of bladed object just slammed into the door.
It's worked for doors before.
The door is still closed, right?
Yes.
Not because
Okay.
the doors open inwards, not outwards.
I'll go open the bloody door.
Here's the key.
I'll take the axe out first.
As you go to the front of the chateau, open the large doors. Anaïs, will you please describe your character?
Yes. So what you see when you open the door is a 6-foot tall woman. She has pretty nice fitted clothing on her. Seems like it's a couple weeks old, with the dirt that it's covered with at this point, but it's got bright blues and oranges, and she has knee-high brown boots. She has a sheathed rapier on her hip that is halfway out of the sheath right now, and she's in a slight crouch stance, responding to what just protruded through the door. She has bright blue eyes, shaggy orange hair, very long bangs, kind of drops down the sides of her face. Her hair and clothing seem very dirty compared to her skin and the rest of her complexion, which seems almost flawless. And she looks human. And she's in this like kind of half crouch as you open the door, staring at you, trying to judge if you're a threat or not.
You don't have to draw your weapon. Please.
Is this how you normally open doors?
Yes.
Not normally. We're a bit busy at the moment. Could we take a message?
She slowly sheaths the rapier and then stands up to her full height and like tugs on her blue overcoat and takes a breath. No, I need to talk to all of you right now if you have time.
We're kind of dealing with something.
Really?
Actually, yes. Let's talk. Addis, why don't you just keep yourself occupied?
Oh, I can.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I'm sure you
You
can.
were involved in
Don't-
something quite intricate a short while ago. If you could get back to that with less of the weapon hurling, that would be
Just
grand.
don't look at anything till we get to the dining room.
As you're looking over to Addis, Anaïs, will you make a wisdom save?
I can definitely do that.
Also, would you like me to describe Addis?
Yes, please.
Yes. So you see, sort of hunkered over slightly, a very large individual, somewhere around, or at least currently hunched, but probably around 12 feet tall. Basically looks like he's carved from some sort of stone, like obsidian. Just sort of this black, burnt skin all over him. You see two sort of like piercing, like bright blue eyes, and half of his face is it's very burnt and sort of just not very attractive. He's got the sort of shock white hair that is currently sticking up in every direction. And he is also currently wearing a maid outfit that is perfectly sized to him.
Detail that we missed.
Well,
He's been wearing it the entire time he's been here, guys.
it's not the first time that's come up.
I'm assuming that the face and everything, it's not fresh, right? It's like scarring.
No, it's scarred, yeah.
Okay.
What's interesting though is due to your particular ring, you can see what looks like something almost spidery behind Addis, sort of ethereal, everything. But your brain won't let it come into focus, and like it almost hurts if you try and look past him. And there's this sense of fear, like you shouldn't look at whatever this thing is.
So I'll stop dead in my tracks then and just point in the general direction. We'll try to not look at it. What is that?
Well, that's Addis.
The skeleton.
No, the spectral thing.
I don't see anything there.
You don't see the beast standing, the thing, there's something.
Very offensive.
That's Barry. He's my bad.
She's not pointing at Barry.
No,
Not
this
the
is something
bear.
quite else.
You can't feel that or see that?
No.
Should we?
Addis, as you look at Anaïs, what's interesting is you see colorations of orange and blue radiating off of her shoulders like wings.
Are you a dragon?
What? No, I'm not a dragon.
Okay.
Are you sure?
I'm quite positive that I'm many things, but not a dragon. I'm more concerned what's floating in this chateau over there. You have no idea what this is.
Well, we can't see it, so it's kind of hard for us to tell you what it is. We can't. See
He's
it.
friendly, don't worry. I think.
Can I go ahead? I'm gonna go ahead. Can I go ahead and use a Can I fire off a dispel magic spell at it, Frosty?
Sure.
Kind of a not a gut reaction, but a calculated reaction. Before I before I do it, she's not going to do it. She's not going to do it without warning or asking, but I'm going to cast the spell magic in that general area unless
Targeting whatever that thing is.
Yes, unless one of you has a better idea.
You're trying not to look, you're just trying to dispel any
Yes.
relevant magic in the area.
Yes.
As you do, you feel as though you are pushing against something beyond what you would normally be able to affect. There is a distortion there that your magic barely even seems to be able to affect, but yet it seemingly recedes, vanishing into
Counterspell.
nothingness. And Addis, you feel that the mishmash of information, that wave, the voices that you've been hearing, all this overload of information slowly lift as you kind of resubsume and acclimate to yourself for a moment, like a moment of clarity.
It's gone now. I think we could.
What was it?
Great question.
Well, now that I can actually look around the room, I didn't make it go away. It chose to go away. What I just did didn't actually work, but it's apparently intelligent, whatever that thing was. What are you doing in this chateau?
What?
Sex stuff.
Living.
Oh, Addis.
What's that?
We live here. What he's doing, I don't know. This is new. Well,
On
yeah,
a much
fairly new.
Well,
smaller
since the
scale,
children.
he'd
Yeah.
been trying to communicate with the gods with chess pieces and watching them move a little bit, and things seem to have escalated quite substantially since then.
Yes, seems to.
They speak to me now. Yes.
Well,
You speak with
oh,
gods.
Mm.
I mean, the gods. Okay, look, we don't know you. No offense. So perhaps we should start with what you said was bringing you here. Let's go have a seat.
I'd prefer to stay inside of this for a few more moments, but I'm happy to fill you in on why I'm here, which is simply you're under investigation and I have questions for you.
oh, that's
Well,
again.
You already asked a bunch of them, though.
Oh, I have
Is it like
I
a-
have more. Those were the
could we
unexpected questions.
Bit where you threaten us with like false made up investigation stuff and then set us on some grand task that you'd like us to do for you instead. That's how this goes, isn't it?
You're a bit of a pessimist, aren't you, Magnar?
Oh, well, the last time we had a grand inquisitor turn up at our door, and what do you know?
Well, we don't know who this person is. Nothing says.
Yeah, they should
she's
be.
an
All right, then go on.
They
Yeah,
could
Give her
be
a chance to
great
speak.
inquisitor.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
we're
sorry.
being investigated, so
Magnar-
if I jump
Magnar
ahead of
is-
myself.
Magnar is a genuinely good person. He's just very ornery.
Should we discuss over some dinner? Are you hungry?
I could have a cup of tea or coffee if you have some.
I can make drinks.
Hopefully out of real materials, not whatever other things you're messing with.
I have a whole collection of fruits and herbal teas.
Let me handle the drinks. You go take a seat. I think you've had a busy night.
Do you know how to make anything but water?
I can figure it out.
Pouring one thing into another thing.
We're all gonna have beer then.
You go have a seat, Addis. You've had a terribly busy night.
That is very true. I have managed to solve some interesting problems.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You've done that. I'll be back.
And make
Also,
perception checks, Garth, Magnar, and Wastora.
Ooh, 21.
I'm excited. My first roll of the entire campaign is at nat 20, so hopefully that works well.
7. So
So you really aren't paying much attention to it. You kind of dealing with this situation with Stora.
this whole thing just sort of
yeah. Magnar and Garth, you both noticed this woman that has walked in here is wearing what looks like an Inquisitor's ring.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
As I always say, no, anyway. No, keep your mouth shut.
Look, everyone go have a seat in the dining room. I'll be back with drinks.
All right.
Addis will take the pear from the conspiracy theory board, take a bite out of it, and walk into the other room.
All right.
I'll follow once somebody heads in that direction and find a seat.
All right. You guys
Head in.
gather into the dining room.
yes. So I'm with Stora. What's your name?
Inquisitor Clementine.
Ah! Sorry.
I
What
don't
was that?
have.
Hey, we still don't know why she's here. Give her a chance.
Right, but you call
Well,
me
you're
a
like-
pessimist. I'd like to think I'm a bit of a realist.
Are you a
you're
grand?
a bit of a pessimist. You don't know why she's here.
Are you a
No,
Grand Inquisitor? No?
I'm
Okay.
not a Which previous Grand Inquisitor do you have dealings with?
Are you a good Inquisitor?
I'd like to think so.
This is a subjective question. Okay. Why don't we start with what you're investigating and what we have to do with it?
What were you all doing just a couple hours ago while you were out and about in the city?
We were at a sort of I forget what, I don't know what you would call it.
Well, it was a bit of a mix between a bar, a doss house,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
a tavern, an eating place, a little bit of
Yeah,
the garden,
Yes, and we were speaking with
and a fighting pit.
well, I think the fighting pit was it's not really a fighting pit. It just so
No,
happens that there
granted.
was a dragonborn doing a fight. I don't think that makes it a fighting pit. But yeah, we were talking with people in preparation for going to the queen's birthday.
I was acquiring bodies through legal means and fruit, which, if you want me,
Putting a pin in that for a
and the
moment.
fruit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Please,
the
please
fruit,
do.
the fruit, and that whole thing.
He's
Beyond-
not normally been this bad. I don't know what's going on with him tonight.
Beyond those locations, there's somewhere else you've been recently.
Recently.
This evening.
This evening? Well, earlier this evening, me and Garth here went clothes shopping.
You went
I went
shopping.
Yeah, I went to Haberdasher.
Then we went to Madame Pompadour's, which was the name of the place we were describing. I don't think we went anywhere else.
Does this happen to be related to the museum?
We haven't been to the museum today.
I know, but I'm just checking.
In the past. It does, actually.
Well,
Because
why
we
don't
haven't been to
just-
the museum.
Why don't you just tell us what you want to know and what you're investigating, then we can go from there.
It's best in these situations not to put all your cards on the table immediately.
Okay, then you can leave.
I'm sorry?
Then you can leave. If you want us to give you information about what's going on, you need to at least tell us what you want to know. Don't play these games and jump around. Look, I'm normally a very diplomatic person, and I'm very happy to work with you.
Really?
I am. You be quiet, all right? I'm normally a very diplomatic person, and I'm usually very willing to do it, but you're coming off with very strong accusations here, and we don't even know what you're accusing us of, and it's a very awkward situation. I'd rather not deal with it tonight, especially with this guy acting out. So you can tell us what you want and why you're here, or you can leave.
What did I walk back into?
So I was just asking us what we've been doing this evening. I'll tell you what, there you go, independent. Garth, what we've been doing this evening?
This evening we went to Madame du Pompadour's. We talked to Gregory and Leon. Before that, me and you, Magna, went shopping. I placed an order for some clothing. We bought maps. And before that, we woke up.
You
Not a
might have a
terribly
leg.
exciting day.
You might have a leg to stand on if I didn't just witness what I witnessed in the other room as well. You know how Inquisitors work, right?
I don't care right now.
Yes, you come in with trumped up charges, threaten people, and then have them do your dirty work. Or use them as bait.
You were traveling in the company of a mass murderer to start with. You have been seen around what is now a crime scene, and there is a very specific thing now missing that it seems like you could have been the ones that are behind it.
All right.
So hang on, let me.
When I say I acquired the
I'm not
skeleton
gonna
through legal means,
Go back a few steps because you've already told us what you're investigating without telling us what you're investigating. So just say it. The thing missing from the museum is starts with an R. You're saying that we took it. Apparently, he's been
Yeah.
missing tonight. It wasn't us. We weren't there.
I'm
We might
assuming
have some information, but we'll share it once you tell us more about who sent you, why you're here, and why you're interested.
And I'm assuming you all have magical licenses that are perfectly in order.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is!
I have this ring.
No!
I have this ring here.
You show the ring that Jill gave you.
Yeah.
So you would see with your true sight that there is an illusion spell to make it look like a Prismari ring, but it is actually the ring of the missing inquisitor, or the missing investigator.
Anaïs is
I
going
thought,
to shoot.
I thought we had the magic on the ring like broken at one point.
You moved the curse.
Anaïs shoots to her feet and points accusatorially at the ring and
Yes.
holds it. What? Where did you get that?
Jill,
Legally.
Jill Delay.
Jill
Jill.
DeRay. Yeah.
Yes. He's the one who
But
put us up in this house.
Jill gave me the ring. I couldn't take it off. I broke my fucking finger.
Well, there was a curse on it, yeah.
Yeah.
But the breaking the finger was kind of you
That
were a
was
bit
my
aggressive.
fault.
You were a bit aggressive.
I wanted the ring off. What do you want
No,
from me?
it was
Yeah.
understandable you wanted the ring off, but it was a bit
Well,
aggressive.
And
Okay,
Jill could
whoa,
look through it at us at any time he wanted.
Yeah, and there was he was using
Standard
it to teleport
inquisitor.
to us at the
rating
bar,
procedures.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That- All right, that's not number one standard procedure. And you're saying Jill gave you a cursed item.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that
Okay. All right.
complicates things, and she
Okay.
shoots back down.
All right. Why don't you tell us what it is you want and why you're here, and I will happily start from the beginning. You still haven't told us that.
I am here for multiple reasons that keep stacking up, apparently. And she gestures at the ring. The main reason that brought me here tonight was the fact that a ring has been stolen from the museum.
Okay.
Couldn't see that
Mhm.
coming.
Yeah, in fact, we told them it was coming so that they might
Yeah,
have
we
less
did.
Yeah,
security.
multiple times. Yeah.
I'll happily answer your questions about that in a minute. You said
now-
one of the reasons you were here.
Anaïs, what you would know is you are aware that the ring was there because you fought against Alduin's forces, but you know no one else has figured it out. So the fact that this ring went missing
Mm-hmm.
is very unusual because even the museum caretakers and archaeologists didn't realize what was there. It was kind of hidden in plain sight.
What were you saying, Wistura?
I was saying that you said there were other things you were looking into.
Well, that's the main one because it's
She did mention
incredibly
mass murder.
Yeah.
mass murderer you're traveling with is more of a disconcerting note that
I will happily. I mean, it'd probably be best for Hadrian to speak for himself. It's perhaps I'm assuming it's Hadrian you're referring to about, unless Addis, there's something about your past you haven't shared with us yet.
Anaïs,
I
you
have killed
recall
a few people.
the name Hadrian seems like such an obvious alias for Hadriel.
you mean Hadriel, yes, but no, that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, he doesn't. Look, we'll go into Hadrian and what his weird.
I'll grab
ass
another kick of
stuff.
ale.
It's
He's
probably
only plays a bunch of.
Again, it's probably best for him to do it. Although he'll hate you the minute he meets you because he hates authority. But we
He
can
hates
talk about
everyone.
that. So okay, that's okay. So you're here to check
Right
him
there.
out for some reason. Apparently, you're really focused on him being a mass murderer. Can't speak to that personally, but let's just say he's had a complicated past. What was there something else that brought you here?
Originally, no. Then I saw a horrifying specter that I still cannot completely comprehend that was far
Okay.
beyond any power that I can issue.
All I need to tell you, his name is Dave. He's fine. Comes to visit every once in a while.
Look, that guy thinks he's a wizard.
I am a wizard.
He's complicated. We won't be able to help you with that. He might. The rest of us won't. That's new to us. We don't know anything about that. All right. So tell me a bit about. I know vaguely, law mages, inquisitors, and that kind of thing. And we've dealt with Jill, unfortunately, quite a lot. How do you fit into all of this? Do you work for Jill? Do you work for somebody else? Is this part of an elaborate, bureaucratic, complicated system that you're part of?
And you work for Avril.
That would complicated bureaucratic system would probably sum it up. But Jill is someone that I interact with. Yes.
Are you a fan of Jill?
neutral.
Okay, good
Oh,
enough.
He's an acquired
bet
taste.
one.
Yeah,
You
okay.
bet one that was neutral on too.
Okay,
You didn't-
that's a step in the right direction, but okay. All right. Okay. Do you want the short version or the long version?
Well, there's still the whole thing about the fourth reason, which I'm now here, which is the ring. You don't know what it is, do you?
You're not taking
It's
it.
a ring.
It's a ring. Okay.
He said it would allow us to be not in trouble if we caught magic. No, notably, I shouldn't have been in trouble for using magic because I was calling upon the blessings of me God, as it happens.
I think
Well-
out of the people here, I'm the only one who could potentially get in trouble for using magic. Which,
How dare you?
yeah.
I
Okay,
mean,
so
the ring. So not only I'm kind of, is it not strange to you that somebody like Jill gave you a cursed item?
well, it's very understandable at the time he gave it to us. If
We
the
were being
story,
accused of
yeah,
We were
okay,
in Versailles. Do you remember
What?
the dragon attack on Versailles? We were there.
yeah.
We helped
So-
defend.
So Jill was using us in a scheme of his, and he needed us to have the ring. And I'm pretty sure the reason why it was cursed is so we couldn't take it off and prevent him from tracking us because he wanted to jump in on us when we were dealing with a particular individual. Again, short version or long version?
I've got 3 kegs of ale in the kitchen.
That would be the long version. Well,
Unless
I don't
Barry
know.
gets
Is
involved.
Barry drinking?
Actually, no, that would be a short version.
That would be the short version of Barry's drinking.
Considering how many different things we have to talk about now, I think the short version, as long as you don't leave anything too important out, but still, the ring. That ring is from someone that I worked closely with that is now dead.
Okay, well then the short version, we can't answer those questions, but the short version should maybe do it. Okay. Hadrian and Jill, along with Zamara, who is the queen of the Winter
Okay.
Court, and a couple of other people, were trying to put up a portal to some ancient being from another realm in order to become gods. I was supposed to be a sacrificial victim in that. Hadrian kind of screwed it up. Whole thing went to hell. All right, some horrible guy named Godric is now in the world trying to destroy it. Jill came to us, said, okay, look, we're going to go and do this thing. In order to get you to help us, we're going to give you this ring. Godric showed up, summoned the dragon, destroyed a lot of Versailles. We went out on this sort of trading thing, on this sort of trip to try to lay a trap for him. That was where the ring came in because we were given it because that way Jill could like appear at a certain time and face Godric. A lot of stuff happened. That fell apart. La just died. Blah, 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 blah. We went running off into the woods for a while. We finally made it. We came across Jill in some town somewhere. We made it back over here. We're supposed to go to the queen's birthday because Godric's supposed to be there. We're trying to meet with the queen in order to try to tell
We
her
got attacked by
this
books.
kind of stuff. Okay, that's part of the long version. All right. We know about the ring in the museum. Hadrian recognized it as some sort of thing from some guy.
Well, if I
warlord
could point out,
thing.
it's actually one of a set, and Godric
He's collecting
has
the dogs
all
of
the others.
Yeah, Godric
And
has the
the
other
fact
one.
that the dragon was somewhat ephemeral and not quite all there would no longer be a thing if you got hold of the last one. Hence, we've been
Right,
quite
so-
concerned about it. Oh, this ring,
so we're-
not that ring. Go on.
Yeah, so we're in the museum. We noticed that. We spent a lot of time. Oh, how do we prevent Godric from getting it? Oh my gosh, what do we do? We kind of just sort of we're trying to do it. Then we found out some gnomes were going to steal it. And we were trying to figure out why the gnomes were trying to steal it or who were trying to hire them because we don't want to make sure that Godric didn't get it. Turns out some guy from what's his name? What's the guy's name? I'm so bad with names.
Which was the one that came this morning.
Yeah, the one that came this morning.
Silco.
Silco came this morning, said, "Oh, the gnomes are with me. They're going to go and take it. I want to take it back to my land." And we're like, "Great, cool. Godric can't get it then." And that's basically the answers to those questions.
Did you say
Make a
that you had,
history check on Addis.
did you say that you had ale?
I've got 3 kegs.
I
If Barry didn't get into them.
I would love a mug of that.
Oh, I've got 6 with me right now. I bought 6 tankards.
All right, so it's just barely enough with a 13. Just barely. But one, they seem to know who. You were under the impression that the leader of the resistance was who attacked Versailles. They seem to know the leader of the resistance's name. Godric. 2, they've mentioned they mentioned a Silco, who you have heard reports about as a criminal from Wallachia who purveys in illegal magic and trades and steals and sells illegal magical items and supplies, and is supposedly the head of a very corrupt underground black market that they also now have mentioned that they have ties to, or at least they met with. You also did hear about the shipment of medical supplies for the people suffering from the strange plague that's appeared being robbed, and that matches up with the supply run that they supposedly were protecting.
She's
But we're
going,
not criminals. We ain't this.
she's going to take one of the tankards from Garth and take a awkwardly long drink from it.
Do we have any wine?
Oh, let me go check. Do you have any in your bathing room?
I actually don't drink very often anymore these days, but under the
Yeah,
circumstances.
try
thought-
me,
I
try
thought
me
we had
workshop
some
at the other end of the
last.
room.
Yeah, I thought we had
take a
some.
peek.
You would find a small thing of wine.
All right, I'm just going to pour myself a glass and sip it slowly.
She's going to mostly finish the tankard before putting it down next to herself and pull off her like kind of riding gloves and shove them in a pocket. Were you saying something, Garth?
Anything else that you need?
A intricately drawn out map of everything that you just said.
It's gestures to the conspiracy.
Just to be clear, this isn't the dimension where I worked with bad guys. That's a different one.
So he's crazy.
I
he's a
think so.
wizard.
I'm pretty sure
I'm a wizard.
He's
It's
not.
like normal for a wizard.
He's not
No, it's
really a
not.
wizard. He's not
It
really a
is.
wizard. He just keeps
I
saying
am.
that. He
That's
just
been-
keeps saying it. I'm not talking to you, all right? He just keeps saying that.
Oh,
It is so crazy.
He was
All
starting
right.
to see a couple of things lately, like spiders out the corner of his eyes and the like, but
because that's normal.
It's out of my.
It's
It's
not
part of my
normal.
wizard. It's part of my wizard powers.
Look, there's a lot going on here that I just walked into that I wasn't even expecting, and I thought I already was walking into.
Welcome to the last, what, 2 months of our lives?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And with that, as you guys sip on your drinks, Hadrian, you are woken up and kind of in agony by the loud snoring of Leon. And
Wait, I'm in the garden. He's
yeah,
in his
you can
room.
hear him out here.
Oh,
And however, your chest hurts.
my
It feels wet.
I look down at my chest.
You can see scratched into your chest is a heart that is slightly bleeding.
I lay on hands, and I leave immediately.
As you get up, you step in what
No,
can only be described as a very massive dump that was taken right at your feet.
great. Well, thankfully we have cantrips, so I'll get rid of that. As I'm just gonna throw my coat over my shoulder and just walk out and keep an eye on the roads as I head back to the chateau.
Okay. And we'll say at this point you are walking into the chateau as you hear that everyone kind of discussing and being like, "I need another drink." Some an unfamiliar voice, yet somehow familiar?
I walk in and just. You guys know it's like 5 a.m., right? Why are you all up and drinking right now?
Inquisitor
We're
calls
having
mass murder and wants to know what happened to the ring, which is now not in the museum.
Are you entertaining Gilles de Rais here while I'm gone?
No, it's a different Inquisitor.
I told you.
It's a different Inquisitor. She's right
All right.
here. You can
Tell
talk
them
to
to
her.
come out and meet me. No. They're fucking coming to me. I'm done with Inquisitors. Like, if
We
they
have
come to
beer.
me,
We have beer.
We have
So
This one's orange. These names better.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anaïs, was it? Is that how I pronounce it? I'm sorry.
I just stand in the
He's-
entryway.
I told you this was going to happen. I told you this was going to happen.
Oh, I'm not. I said this before. I'm not talking about the Inquisitor. I'm talking about you trying to lure me in there to talk to some Inquisitor with ale. Fuck you.
Oh,
I'm sorry, he's a bit of a dick.
A bit.
I,
Look, he has
hang on a
Some
second. It
really
seems to have been
good-
struck by a silent spell.
moments, but
No,
Oh, okay, good.
no, I'm just reacting.
I just like
I just cast another spell while you guys weren't paying attention.
All right, so tell them to come out and meet me.
all right. Do you mind if we take a step outside real quick and
You can
I
bring the
said
ale.
them. I said
I'm-
them.
You want to meet Dave as well? I could try and find them.
You're not going to
Dave
want to
the
meet with a
dick.
mass murderer alone. Just saying.
I didn't really want to, no, but I can hear you if you just come in here.
No.
I have a pair.
he's not going to listen to you.
2 pairs. A pair of pairs.
He's not going to kill you.
She's
I
like,
think.
Sure. I swear on Ishgard and my sword and my father Inigo Montoya that I will not kill you.
Pretty sure that's not his father's name, but you go right ahead. Pretty sure he's not going to kill you.
in general, all of that doesn't really mean anything to me. Regardless, is this how you all communicate with each other and strangers all the time?
Unfortunately,
Yes.
yes.
it's sort of
Yeah.
devolved down to this. I have to say,
I
gradually
do
over
try.
time.
Trust me. I do
I
try
see.
very hard.
I see that you try, and I see that you've probably done this for a long time at this point.
A bit longer than I would care for. Yes.
I am sorry for that, and some of the troubles that you have fallen into and or may be still responsible for makes a bit more sense. I'm going to talk to Hadriel briefly, and then I would love to clear more of this up because there's still plenty of unanswered questions. But if he won't come in, fine. And she turns around.
For your information, the only mass murder we're aware of is of the kobolds, and I think they are against the bourgeoisie. So, just to clear that up.
Addis, just
I mean, I was clearing it up.
just let her do her job.
Yeah.
Sit here.
Anaïs, as you get up to go walk out to see Hadrian, you begin to get a strange sense of deja vu. Vague imagery that haunted your mind when you came here. Glimpses of people and foreign places, strange world, a horrible apocalyptic setting, something that's haunted you for the many, many years that you've served as an Inquisitor. And it's only in the frustration, confusion, and the jolt of seeing Hadriel as you walk around and that fear that you recall seeing these faces so long ago in your nightmares over the years, in these dreams, and hearing the words, after you bleed the coal from the bones, you will find the answer you cannot speak, as the dead rise by your fist. Frozen hearts crawl along the stone, and you will call upon and the words just ring in your ears. You've done research. You've heard of the fated. You never thought it was you. It couldn't be you. Because it would mean you would have been meant to die. But if you've been seeing them, Is there a chance they've been seeing you? The same whispers. And what whispers have they heard? As you walk into the room to face
Do
a
I need to
familiar
describe myself?
sight.
or-
Yes.
Yeah. So standing, his foot sort of tapping impatiently, his arms crossed. Although when he sees you, he will sort of like his arms will drop and he'll cock his head in a like what expression. But he's sort of he had been motioning outside the door because he heard you say Hadriel, and obviously you know him, and he is interested in a talk. A strikingly handsome man with sort of 5 o'clock shadow, messy black hair, eyes that look like purple and black opals. Currently, he's not wearing his armor. He's just sort of in a loose undershirt that it shows a person who is clearly built as a killer. Like there's just it he's not as big as Garth, but he looks extremely dangerous. He has one sword slung across his back, long, no hilt. Sorry, no crossguard. A single purple gem set into the hilt. Black pants, high black boots. You can see, as an Inquisitor, probably various knives are hidden across his person, even though he's clearly like not fully armed. There's probably at least about 6 different implements of murder on him, and he's just sort of, and he smiles at you, kind of frowns a little bit, but waves his hand outside the door. And again, as
What's interesting on Addis is that seeing this, it looks as though he's let himself go. There's not like the clean shaven, the vicious look in his eyes is gone, the casual demeanor rather than the armor and ferocity that you're used to seeing, like almost as if he became like if you could imagine like someone who was very high functioning and then like became an alcoholic and kind of let themselves go. Like that's your perspective on this change of in his appearance. Like that immediate fear that you felt of seeing this person is almost left with a lingering disappointment, as there was a part of you almost excited to face this person again after so long.
I motion outside. Do I recognize this person, by the way?
There is a familiarity, but there's something missing. Like it's hard to say. Like
Okay.
definitely, it's one of those like, have I fought you? I've fought so many people.
Yeah, no, I'll wave my hand outside the door and say I'm not keen on sort of nagging interrupting this, since you clearly know me. So let's have a civil conversation, shall we?
So she comes around the corner looking even paler than normal and very ashen almost, with kind of a scowl at you that quickly fades into more confusion, lifts her hands up and just frustratedly drops them down by her sides and storms out the front door.
Yeah, I walk out and I close it behind me. I also just say, who the fuck broke the door? I walk away for 5 seconds and somebody I slam the door behind me. And so it's like I sort of like lean back against it a little bit. Who are you and why should I care?
My name's Anaïs Clementine. I'm an inquisitor. Name and why you should care, especially when you're going around the city in the manner that you all have been.
What?
You're just going to pretend that there's nothing that would have summoned an inquisitor to your doorstep. Nothing at all.
Well, I did hear you call me by my actual name, so I can only assume that
That is your name. The moniker you chose is really just, you could have put more effort into it if you tried.
yeah, so we're going to talk about this. But
I would just like to have, no, shut up. I would just like to have an actual conversation, because ever since I showed up here, I've been getting yelled at by multiple people, had stories flung in my face repeatedly. Nobody seems to understand the fact that I could throw you all in irons right now and summon the might of the city down on you if I wanted to. I would just like an actual conversation.
All right. Let's have a conversation. Follow me.
Additionally, without assuming I'm a idiot, because I know who you are, and I know things that you have been doing in the city, and do not play innocent with me, Hadriel.
About what I've been doing. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. What I've been doing in the city. So, yes, encountered a group of gnomes. Was planning to steal a ring to keep it away from my brother. Who was
Silco,
trying to destroy it. Oh, well, meeting with Silco, he was apparently the one who hired the gnomes.
of course.
Again, look, when I was hoping to get him to tell us that we could work with the gnomes and double cross him and take it and destroy it or get it out of the city or something like that, but it didn't work. Dude is devious and extremely cunning. Having said that, I would rather he have one ring and Godric have four than Godric have all of them, so I took it as a loss but a win. And forgive me that I didn't really trust going to the authorities, even though our experience with them has been Jill DeRay, who I don't know your opinion on, but is a lunatic. And I say that as like recognizing like. So
As he's talking, Frosty, it's still very late in the like it's 4 or 5, right? Or what time?
It's like 5 in the morning. Yeah.
5 in the morning. How many people are out here? Like, can I see anybody in eyesight or earshot of us?
Because you guys are in the chateau.
so we went outside. We went outside. We
Oh,
went outside
yeah.
the door.
Oh,
Yeah,
outside the door. So as you're
Mhm.
looking, there are still a few guards kind of looking around the place. Not so much in this area of town, but sort of patrolling. And there are a few people on an early morning stroll and jog that want to groups. A couple of students making their way towards the academy. You do see a few major other nobles out. They are in the noble district, so people going. You're beginning to smell the coffee being brewed and the fresh pastries and everything kind of wafting into the air. The early salty meats being cooked and it's there's a light mist and dew kind of hanging over the city due to the shift in temperature of the early summer. Sorry, midsummer day, when everything starts to heat up after the morning and get really moist and has just a crispness to that crisp summer morning air.
As Hadriel finishes speaking, instead of immediately responding, she's going to glance from side to side and kind of take in the surroundings. And you'll notice that she spins her Inquisitor signet ring around so it's visible, because it's typically kind of tucked. She wears it tucked under so it's not super visible. And she moves her coat so her rapier is now exposed as well. And she takes a step closer to you. Look, there's a lot of things to talk about. This might not be the best place.
you want to go somewhere where there's no one to observe?
I would have been fine staying inside with the rest of the individuals that you travel with that are under investigation, but you shouldn't be throwing around Jill's name and all those other names out here on the street. That's why I tried to do this inside. People are going to ask questions.
Fine, let's step inside then. If a store comes in and nags me, I can't vouch for my own
That poor woman
mental
was
health.
trying. No, that poor woman was at least trying to give me some information and solve a
Well,
powder keg.
I cannot speak to the powder keg that this group is. I wasn't there when you were asking for the information. I've been nothing but forthcoming with you so far. Even though all you've done is indicate that you know who I am when I barely know who I am. So step inside, close the door. Whatever it is you want to tell me, because I'm as curious as you are right now.
As you guys, they walk back into the dining room.
No, into the main hall. Into the main hall. He's still trying to keep it like.
I'm gonna say actually, they could probably walk in as Restore is going upstairs to go to bed.
Go to sleep, yeah.
It's 5 in the morning.
Flips Garth
You're muted.
Magnar flips Garth the coin and says, "Oh, you're right. She still does have a head."
I knew it.
I owe Barry a lot of money now. Oh, shit.
All right. I hold out. I sort of hold forth my hand, not in a but in a continued way. You said we have things to talk about. I am nothing if not an honest person, so ask me questions and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
I assume you're familiar with the concept of triage.
Damage control? Yeah, sure, why not?
Yes. there's multiple things that I need to talk to you and your companions about. But the second that I set foot in this chateau, I witnessed something that I lack the words to explain, which is not something I've ever really experienced in my existence. And it was hanging over, and I'll gesture into the room, that table.
It gestures towards probably Addis.
Yeah.
Because it was
Right.
behind him. And
Oh, I thought the table was in front of
Is Addis still muttering or like?
He's currently making himself a cup of tea, and you see him cutting up a pear and putting slices of the pear in the tea.
Okay.
whatever this was hanging over your friend Addis there in that room. I couldn't look at it. It was horrifying. I'm the only one that could see it. I cast Dispel Magic on it to try something because I was the only one that could see it, and it receded of its own will. My Dispel Magic didn't even begin to touch the thing. So I'm going to say the thing that we need to talk about right now is what that is, because that could be a threat to the city. There's a lot of different things floating around that. So before I get to mass murdering, rings, anything else.
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but when you say there was a thing hanging over him that you can't describe and couldn't see, that doesn't really give me much to go off of. So
it wasn't sadness. I can explain. I got this. So, have you ever gone to a museum?
Yes. One
Well,
on
no,
the
no,
outside, one's on the inside.
I know you broke into a museum, but that's
I didn't
that's a
break in.
separate-
I tried to. I tried to. I failed.
Sorry. Yeah, no. It was unrelated, and we didn't steal anything.
We didn't. No. I didn't even go inside. I was just on top of it, like just bouncing around.
Yeah, like
an idiot.
parkour. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was trying to keep myself fit. Continue.
That's not illegal, right? Parkour.
Parkour is not illegal. In my
Anyway. Wait, no, this didn't start with the museum. This started before the museum. Sorry. Wait. Anyway, there was a museum. But before that, I had a nice, lovely chat with some gods. Lovely people. You've met one, I think, right, Hadrian Mogi?
Oh yeah, Mogus. Yeah, he kicked the shit out of me. Told me I was a fighter, had to start a war. I didn't really know what he was talking about. I mean, now I do a bit more because I remembered some of the stuff that I've done, but not much.
Yeah.
So
So
and as I'm saying this, and I'm assuming Anaïs is just like looking like I'm looking. I told you, I will hide nothing. You just have to ask or talk. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Lies
anyway,
are
yeah.
they take up a lot of space.
Yeah, give
Yeah, sorry.
Addis.
Giant. There were giant chess pieces, and a lady made of clockwork. She seemed great. Then there were spiders everywhere. I tried to convince children to steal something. It didn't work. And then the spiders kept happening. And we've had lots of weird dreams.
Our new
In
monster.
summation, I've named him Dave. He seems to be a big, giant spider thing. He's probably connected to something. I don't know if you know anything about the primordials, but like probably connected to that. You know, just normal casual wizard stuff.
Make a religion check, Anaïs.
Do I need to make this check, or do I know exactly what he's talking about?
What'd you roll?
25. Me.
Let's go.
As an inquisitor, you are familiar with some of these stories, the strange spider things, the watching. People who start to go insane start to say that they see these things, and they talk about the mother. And it's consistent. Like they'll all have sort of different strange madnesses and insanities and different weird things that they do, but what's consistent is they seem to talk about the Watchers and the mother and these spiders that are around and everywhere, and no one's ever been able to verify them. True sight, scrying, it's never revealed anything.
What do I know of what happens to people like, do they stay insane? Is this like
They-
pretty much like once you see them,
They
you're
tend
gone?
to
Like,
get very. Some of them are just completely nuts, and
Mhm.
that's just it. Forgotten. Some of them will ramble. Occasionally, they seem to spout almost prophetic rambles. Though most people don't believe it at the time. It's only in, after the fact that's like, oh, hey, that happened to be something true. Um, sort of got lucky is kind of the assumption.
mhm.
However, many of them, a good portion of them, would be considered illegal magic users, as it is unknown how they acquired the magic that they got,
Mhm.
and seem to acquire warlock-esque magic from
Mhm.
talking to this entity, or from their madness. And they claim to have a better understanding of magic, and that they
Mhm.
know the truth and mad ramblings of stuff, and that they're wizards, and
So
the gift of the mother.
as Addis speaks, Adrian, especially, you're going to notice that her entire body language changes. The tense shoulders drop. She stands up a bit taller. She adjusts her coat to hide the rapier again. And everything about her seems to soften in that moment as she almost begins to look a little bit sad and distant. And she, as Addis is talking, like kind of takes a couple steps over, listening somewhat intently. How long have you had these dreams and visions?
It's a great question.
No idea.
It was sometime before the museum and after I used coins.
So it's still fresh then.
About as fresh as the fruit that I have in the other room. Yep.
Yeah.
Some of it is rotten. Don't eat the bananas, but
Oh, I won't.
yeah.
Have you received any instructions or anything? Is that everything that's happened so far?
Instructions? Who? What? No.
Just
Me?
any kind of instructions, any other details that you can tell me? I'm sure you're going through a lot right now with this, and I'm sure it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean there was I've been recently talking to a skeleton. He's quite nice. He said it was okay to tell you that he was a skeleton.
Hasn't asked you to do anything you didn't want to do.
I mean, tell you that he was a skeleton.
He originally said don't tell people that he was a
No,
skeleton.
he said to tell you.
Okay, but he hasn't like asked you to do anything that you didn't want to do.
The murder, that's a separate thing, yeah.
All right. Are you supposed to do anything for the skeleton or anything else you've
Addis,
seen?
in
There
that
was
dream, you were supposed to topple the queen to kill the king.
Mhm. Yeah. Just, normal stuff. Um Pretty women. Well, like pretty but like in a creepy way, have you
I've met a few.
yeah. Uh I'm supposed to kill the queen. What else? Oh yeah, something about like giving my friends hugs. I don't know, something like that.
Giving your friends hugs.
Something and something about welcoming into an embrace.
I see. How recent was the hug bit?
Uh, what time is it?
Time for you to get some sleep, mister.
I'd say like an hour ago,
An hour ago? I,
give or take a few delirious moments. Yes,
sleep sounds like a really good plan for you right now. Thank you for
I
answering.
agree. I will have some great dreams.
Hopefully they're very kind dreams, yes, but I'm sure sleep would be a good thing. I'm gonna steal Hadriel and talk a bit more.
Oh, stealing implies that he's precious to us. No, it's fine.
She actually
yeah. They're giving me away. Yeah, they want to get
Yeah.
me. Thank you.
We'll pay you if you take him.
Addis, you can feel the hands sort of along the side of your head, almost like caressing the side as you hear the feminine voice whispering in your ear once again. Yes, come to sleep. See me. We'll have so much to talk about.
Cool. Yep, I'm gonna go to do the sleep now.
Have fun doing the sleep. I
Come,
turned
skeleton.
I turned to Anaïs. He's like, so there you go. That's one question answered. What was the next one? Was mass murder next, or was it?
Adrian, no, that wasn't a question. And she walks uncomfortably close for her to Hadriel and lowers her voice to a bare whisper. You don't understand what's going on with him, do you?
Actually, I kind of do.
Insanity and death?
Oh, you think I don't understand insanity?
No, I'm not. Listen, this what Addis describes as things that I have actually heard about and seen as an inquisitor before. And if somebody gets to this point, they typically descend into madness. They can vanish, horrible things can happen to them, inquisitors can take them in. I am very concerned for your friend right now, and you should be too. And I feel like everyone in here, if you care about that man, you should probably be with him right now.
I'm concerned for him. Also, have very personal experience with this, and it's not something other people can pull you out of when you get that far in.
Well, that's not quite true. Westora used to pull you out of it all the time.
No, that's different, Magna. That was me remembering what happened. The forgetting is what was the insanity.
Your friend could be going insane right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do go down that path and are still with you shortly, you will need to get them out of the city fast.
Right.
You know, I've learned some things recently. One is crossing these bridges when we come to it. So I am
so calm about this.
Maybe because I'm also concerned this entire group is getting ready to face a god genociding maniac who also happens to be my familiar relation, with a primordial entity of darkness stuffed inside of him that bursts out at every opportunity. Oh, and by the way, I have a similar thing inside of me that is hard to control, makes me very, very mad, and makes me do things I don't want to do. So, pardon if I have so much to worry about that adding one more thing to it doesn't make me freak out. I am worried about Addis. I am worried about the entire world. I just, at some point you stop crying, you stop freaking out, you just keep going.
Boo-hoo for you. Triage, Hadriel. This is the most important thing right now. Why don't you go talk to your friend? I'll give you that much.
Because I believe he said he was going to sleep.
Fine. We can go sit down and talk about the rest of it, but I really think you should go see your friend.
I will say, if there's somebody who can talk somebody out of an insane phase, I don't think that person is me.
No, it's not talking out of an insane phase. It's being with someone where something horrible might be happening to them, and this could be one of the last times that you talk to them. Do you not understand this?
Okay. I'm gonna go check on him. If I come back down and there's guards everywhere,
I would have summoned the guards ages ago if I was going to do that.
I'm gonna be very upset. I'm gonna be very disappointed, and I'm gonna go upstairs and just knock on Addis's door.
She walks back into the room with Magnar and immediately finds another tankard.
I'm there too.
Oh yes, sorry. She's like,
Addis.
You hear the scraping of furniture, and then everything goes quiet.
Addis. Can I talk to Yorick?
No, he's unavailable.
Okay, so you are in there.
No.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm talking to an empty room, so I'll just call you Empty. Hello, MT.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Hadrian, and I'm talking to you. Listen, I know what you're going through. I know what you've been through, and if you need to talk to somebody, Yurik's all right, but he does encourage very bad behavior. So, we're here if you have anything you feel like you need to talk about or say.
You want to know how to stop him, right? That's what you both want. Mother knows.
Yeah, Yurik, I don't give a shit.
Addis does. He's been trying to find the answer.
All right, Addis, I'm leaving you in good hands. And I heard, and I'm like, I give us like a silent middle finger to the skull because I'm just gonna go back downstairs and. All right, I spoke to him. He said he's fine. It's an empty room. I told him I was there. That's really all I could do.
Well, I overheard a little bit. What? I know you know, perhaps, or do or don't, or you think he does. What's happening to Addis?
As far as I can tell, he's descending into a type of insanity that I've seen before.
He's communing with the other primordial.
Sure.
And
That's what it is. Just don't say the name. Because you say the name, that's very bad.
And it's going to get worse.
Most likely, the ones that I've seen before or heard about before, it tends to get worse. Typically doesn't get better. And most of the time, people like this end up being locked up, at least in Anaïs. It's not a good prognosis at this point, and it seems like it just gripped the poor thing, and it's probably going to get worse rather quickly.
Well, it has escalated. I mean, the whole conversation and talking that's new.
But I mean, he did start rambling about fruits back when we were about to save Apolline from the sharks. Oh, sorry, get her the pearls. Meant going about the sharks. He got up and he started rambling about fruit, and he thought he couldn't see, but he could see.
If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go talk to him.
Of course.
Why I said I wasn't going to be good for it. I mean,
No, you'd be good at talking. I want to try and do some thinking.
Speaking of talking, and I will turn back to.
Well, we're going to jump to Garth knocking on Addis's door.
I'll knock.
Hello. Hello.
Addis,
Yes.
may I come in? Please?
Yes.
Sick. I'll open the door.
You find Addis currently completely nude. He has moved his bed into like the center of the room and is currently trying to like chop off parts of it. It looks like he's trying to set up some sort of weird ritual circle around his bed. He's put the coins everywhere. He's got he seems like he's the chess pieces. He's migrated some of the weird dolls and voodoo stuff that he had, as well as like a ruby that he's also set there, and seems to be trying to create some sort of ritual circle.
Like I know what that is.
It's a big circle with squiggly lines and lots of.
All right.
Yeah. He seems to be concentrating as he's like carving it into the ground.
Well, what you up to, Addis?
I'm doing wizard magic.
Ooh, wizard magic. I
Yeah.
see. This might be the last time I get to talk to you. I guess.
Are you losing the ability to speak?
No, far from it.
Are you turning into a bear?
I could be. I guess I wouldn't know until I turn into one.
That's very true.
But the
We could take him with us.
We could. You want to come with us?
where are we going?
Talk to
Where are we
mother.
going? To
Yeah,
talk
talk
to.
to the mother.
Yeah. What he said.
I can't hear him. Could you translate, maybe?
Mm. Yeah. He said. And then you start hearing him speak Mythic. I don't you don't know Mythic.
Great. I wanted to ask you a question, actually.
Okay.
You know you had your ritual kind of thing where you put coins up, talk to the gods.
Yeah, they're on the ground. Yeah.
Could you walk me through how to talk to the gods?
Sure. Yeah. Come on.
Specifically, Nylea.
Um. Sure.
You know how to do that?
Yeah, I can figure it out.
All right. Sure.
Addis will take out 300 gold and start creating lots of little piles, and try and basically spell out Nylea. At some point, it stops spelling Nylea and it gets turned into just mother in big letters. And then he sort of, it's sort of hard to tell because he's sort of putting it out in this big array around the bed. He goes, okay, now what we need to do is we need to meditate. You know how to meditate, yeah?
No.
I can knock you out if that works.
I mean, to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm quite tired as it is.
Okay, just lay down and go to sleep then. And then I lay down and go to sleep, and then you just think really hard about wanting to like know and talk to Nylea and like get all the answers and stuff. And the ritual circle will amplify your magical powers, and the key will flow within you, and you can use the force, and everything will be connected and explode and good things.
Explode?
It's like a good explosion. Have you ever like eaten food and you had like a whoa, that's so good?
Might have. But I do trust you. So all I have to do is lay down and go to bed.
Basically, yeah. Think like really hard.
About wanting to talk to Nylea.
Yeah, like you can like how like you can sort of daydream. Like try and daydream and then drift into it. You know?
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. I'll lay down too. Here, come cuddle me.
All right, and we will jump back to Magnar and Anaïs, and Hadrian.
Well, I was actually going to start by saying, so, Hadrian, you immediately went there. How do you know that name?
So by this time, she's probably already gone through another tankard.
Oh, yeah, he'll have
ale.
started drinking at this point, by the way. He'll pull out a bottle of scotch. You don't know where it's from. And he'll just like,
As she starts to answer, she takes the blue overcoat off and throws slumps it on the counter. And you see that the straps that are kind of visible, at least on her midsection when the coat's on, kind of go all over her back in some kind of like harness for some reason, purpose unknown. But she takes the coat off and drops it on the counter and looks over at you. It's not like that's a hard name
sorry, you cut off
to figure
there.
out either. History books. It's not really a secret at this point.
What is the secret? My name?
Your actual name, yes.
Well, yeah, it was a secret to me until a month ago, but sure, why not?
Really?
Crazy.
For-
This is crazy dance.
You forgot your name?
Oh, he forgot lots. He forgot most things, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, that explains a lot about the way you carry yourself.
But well, I detected a bit of an insult there, but also maybe a bit of satisfaction. I'm not. Who the fuck are you?
As I said earlier, when you made me walk outside for pretty much no reason other than your giant ego, which I assume barely fits in the chateau, my name is Anaïs Clementine. I'm an inquisitor of Amaris.
Wait,
I
what?
have been for some time. Did you say something, James?
No, just your name there. I didn't catch your full name earlier. That rings a bell for some reason. Sorry, carry on.
Have we met before?
Unless you've been out to the Common Mines, I very much doubt it. No.
No, I don't believe I've ever traveled there, but I'm I'm an inquisitor. I have been for some time. I am investigating a few different things right now, and you came on my radar.
Doesn't answer my question.
Apparently, I can't answer anyone's questions in the chateau at this point.
I'm
Oh, you've
Go
answered
ahead.
quite a few of mine, to be fair.
I'm just asking for honesty. That's all
I
I'm
am
given.
being honest, and I am glad that I actually managed to answer someone's questions. I am here because a very important item has gone missing from our museum that no one should really have known about. You have been seen crawling around that area. You have a sordid past. You have also been engaging with not the best individuals in the city like Silco, and there is suspicion upon suspicion just kind of floating around you and everyone in this chateau right now with your fingers in a million different dark pies.
Boysenberry is a really good pie. Don't fuck with it. Having said that, a couple of things. Number one, yes, I already told you the ring is gone. Apparently Silco's thugs took it. Fine. Did we want to take it? Yes. How did I know it was there? I walked into the museum and I saw the coffin and I remembered having had a conversation with Alvin, where I may or may not have recommended him to do something which is now in the history books that you just so casually mentioned as a very, very bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that you know that, just by your response, just shakes its head. That's not in a book. If it is, it's not one I've read.
Book.
So,
Regardless, the more important point is that I am an inquisitor standing in your chateau right now. You are under investigation and you are in my city. You don't have the power in this situation, Hadriel. You have to actually answer questions and cooperate to some degree.
I've been answering them, but also, and I will stand up and sort of straighten my hair a little bit, and bow. Pardon me, ladyship, for being so untoward in this. How could I have ever doubted the motivations of an inquisitor in this grand city of Amaris when we have had so many wonderful examples? But I am at your beck and call. Do you wish me to kill? Do you wish me to die? Do you wish me to throw myself upon the crowds? Or answer any question you may ask, but yours is the rule of law here. I am but a mere peon, unworthy of your presence. Is that better?
Looks over at Magnar.
Oh, if
Is
you
he
give,
always
well,
like this?
he hasn't slipped into primordial yet, so yes, he gets a bit. This was his way of dealing with Jill, because we did have to interact with Jill, and it was, near as I could tell, either sort of tear him into shreds or engage a kind of defensive snark, which is what you just got a little bit of a taste of.
Well, but the thing is, Magna, again, I've been criticized for not answering questions. I'm very much willing to answer them. I did ask them, but it doesn't mean I'm not still willing to answer them. So, like, you asked where the ring went. I just told you where it fucking went. Like, Silco has it.
You're
Mystery
sure of
solved.
that?
Oh, well,
Am I sure of that? No.
Yes.
I'm 90% certain, because if Godric had taken the ring, then you'd have had a dragon in the sky already. Probably. I don't know. I don't have like a mental link with my brother.
Right, but
Like,
it's not entirely unexpected that the ring, which was supposed to disappear roughly around tonight, disappeared roughly around tonight.
Right. Apparently, the gnomes were going to steal it tonight. We were told not to interfere, so we didn't interfere because we are law-abiding citizens. We respect authority, even if it's the authority of a criminal mastermind.
And we had previously told the officials about said gnomes
had,
and how
yes.
suspicious they were. So,
What official did you tell?
The guardhouse near the. They didn't
that
have a name.
actually,
They
we did
were one.
inform the custodian at the museum.
They were one of those not particularly charismatic characters, the NP, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. They didn't really have a name or a standing, but we did inform the city.
Look, I'm not your enemy, and she's directing this specifically, like talking to both of you, but kind of looking at Magnar specifically right now. I'm sorry that you've had bad experiences with Inquisitors. You've met one of the most sour Inquisitors with Jill. I pride myself on doing a good job. And what I mean by a good job is doing the actual right thing as long as I have all the evidence and all the pieces. I am here for you to try to prove to me that you are good people and that you were wrapped up in these things against your will. Otherwise, I would be happy to take you in. But with everything that's going on right now around all of you and the things that just keep popping up the longer that I'm here in such a short time, it feels like there's much more going on than I originally thought. But I'm not here, as you said, to throw false accusations at you and then send you on some grand quest or whatever Jill did to you. I'm trying to find answers.
Who said that?
Magnar did when I showed up.
Oh,
Yes, I got a bit.
so
Our
why are you
prior
yelling at me?
experience with Jill of Inquisitor turning up at the door casting, you got sort of 2/3 of the way there, like turning up unexpectedly at the door and then sort of casting
Yeah.
aspersions about stealing things, and then actually managed to stop and go off on another path. It is bothering me why your name books.
And it's
Are you
bothering me
right?
why.
I mean, I've written a few things, nothing that I would really call major by any means, but I have written a few manuals, yes.
On the regulation of magic.
Yeah, I did write that.
Ha!
Where did you read that?
There's a copy in the library back at the mines with the clerics.
Really? I'm shocked to hear that that made it outside of the city. There's not many copies of it.
Well, I think people just sort of tried to keep me busy in the library after a while. As I started to run out of books, people started sort of. I'd find new books as I was going to the library, like appearing over time. And I think now that I look back on it, I think it may actually have been a way for the order to sort of keep me more engrossed in the books than trying to tell the people of the forge that they were doing their jobs wrong and how they should actually be forging, because nobody trusted me anywhere near the forge, which was probably a very good thing. But I did recall coming across that, and I did. Now that I think back at it, somewhat ironic that because there were some hand scribbled notes, if I recall, talking about how because so you're I can't quite square that with the yes, you are with the Inquisition and the control of magic. And then yet what we seem to find is that the Inquisitors are using magic to control everybody else. Certainly to keep the nobility in power.
We're not all the same.
Well, that's become apparent as the evening has progressed.
Mhm.
It's even more widespread than you might think and more nuanced, just like with any order in general. But if you've read that piece of writing, you might have a better idea than most if you truly studied it.
My memory's not as well as it could be, but I'll tell you what, now that it's in my head, and if I get a good night's sleep, you know those things you can't quite remember, and then they sort of come back to you? My mind works a bit like that at times.
Mhm.
So,
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never had something like that happen to me at all.
yes, quite, because you remember everything perfectly at all times.
I'm joking, obviously.
Oh, see, I missed that still every
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I'm sorry. You really got to.
But anyway, yes, or you could remind me and it'll jog my memory. But that's not really
Yeah.
the most important thing. As you were said, triage. And I think we've gone quite some way off the beaten path. So it was just bugging me why your name seemed familiar.
No, that's fair. And I appreciate you remembering triage because I don't want other inquisitors to show up right now, summoned by the city guard, because it's going to make a very messy situation even more messy, especially with your friend upstairs. I would like to get to the truth of all these different matters that I have brought up and that have appeared since I walked through the front door that was unceremoniously shattered by an axe when I knocked on it.
Oh, that sounds like Addis. Yeah.
Not
Well,
the best way to,
No,
a chateau of suspicious individuals with sordid histories.
So listen. First of all, you say you're not like the rest of them, and I can trust that. Don't know why, but I do. Second of all, you said you want the truth, you want answers. I have been and will continue to give it to you, as I think Magna has as well. Both of us are not exactly what you would call subtle individuals.
I have noticed that, yes.
Oh, really? Because I thought I wasn't putting on a good enough display of it. I could just sort of like walk around and bang with pots and pans if you wanted, but that's not the fucking point. Sorry.
Adrian, you're doing it again.
I know. I'm sorry. I do this thing. Okay, being very serious. First of all, I told you where the ring was going.
Yes.
Why it needed to go there is because, again, this man leading the resistance against the nobility, Godric, is, like me, apparently, an angel from the age of Ishgard who was trapped in some sort of weird place with a strange primordial entity of darkness and corruption that is familiar to me because a lot of the things, the whole mass murder, yes, I listened to it. And I might have helped bring him into this world along with Restora and Jill and Silco and other people. I tried in my way to stop the ritual, disrupt it. Didn't work. But at least Jill seems to have a withered hand right now, so that's some comeuppance.
Make a religion check, Anaïs.
Yeah, I'll pause. He's putting it all out, so
It clicks in your mind for the first time. Westora mentioned something about entity becoming a god. He's saying some primordial entity, and it clicks. The crests of the gods that the king god made, the thing on Jill's hand, was an attempt to make one.
Yeah.
It clicks.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
Some part of you remembers that these powers came from the primordial beings. If there are still some left, and people are trying to get a hold of them, the power that they could acquire, and if this individual Godric is a manifestation of that, the power that it has, that this individual has, there was any concern over the safety and abuse of magic and dangers of it, it is alarm bells going off. It's like just all of these pieces get put together.
Oblivious that this is going to get, so yeah, basically, but I knew they were trying to make themselves into gods, and like, as far as I'm concerned, all the gods kind of suck, so I was like, no, don't fucking do that. So I tried to trap them because I knew they want. I fucked up. I'm not great with these things. And then I don't know what happened after that. At some point, because I only remembered, I thought I was looking for my brother. I thought everything after that is really, really, really fucking fuzzy. Like I know things I've done, and okay, sum that all up. You said, are we on the wrong side of these things? I don't know. I hope so. Sorry, I hope we're on the right side. Freudian slip. Are we good people? Speaking for myself, probably not. I want to be, but I'm not sure you could ever call somebody who has done the things I have done good. And more importantly, is this the ring missing from a museum? Is it maybe about a being who has all the hatred and vengeance that I have ever felt from the Ishgardians who were murdered and raging through him? And no matter what he tells himself, a desire to tear down the entire world, getting access to 5 rings to summon the daughter of Ao and Tiamat Ptolemy, who ripped the skies apart, set fire to the earth, and scarred the lands to the north. Because I will tell you, I kind of remember fighting that fucking dragon when it was real, and I don't fancy it popping up above the city. And if I remembered that ring was that ring, then I can only assume he did. So we were trying to get it out, the possibility of being in the hands of somebody with intent to destroy everything. Did we go about it the right way? No, we're a bunch of fucking idiots. But did we have the right motivations? I think so.
And with that, we are going to cut to our break for tonight. So we will see you soon, everybody. We're going to have a break just to go and catch up, and we will see you shortly. As we left off, Anaïs was having a discussion with Magnar and Hadrian, and the others had headed to bed for the evening. So we're going to pick up with that discussion.
You just finished your very impassioned plea.
I would say spiel, not plea.
Fine.
Use your words correctly, Mrs. Inquisitor.
Oh dear. She takes a while to process that the spiel. As the spiel is going on and pieces are clicking into place, Frosty, just to check something kind of out of character, that all ties in with the ring. So she has all the pieces in her brain right now of the bigger picture of kind of what she just realized, what's going on. And I am correct in assuming that the ring is priority 1 to her even more now because of all the pieces clicking into place, right?
Well, what's interesting is you knew about the One Ring, Aldwin's ring, which was scary enough.
Yeah.
They just mentioned that whoever this Godric is, who's the leader of the Terran, has 4 others.
That's the yes.
That is the big thing.
Yes.
And they've said that they were going to try and stop him from doing something, but they haven't gone into what. Just that they wanted to stop him from getting the ring to keep him from having all 5.
Yep. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure I was on the right track. All right.
Vague shit about destroying the world, but no specific plans.
Can you tell me more about this individual, Godric, you keep calling them? What is this that you're exactly stopping them from doing with the rings?
Well, first of all, I can tell you plenty about him.
Highlights.
Okay. Kill my thunder like that. Basically, it seems he has some sort of plans for a well-to-do with the Queen's birthday party, which I can only assume delicious. Since he hates the nobility, which again,
Oh, he has a
Considering-
ritual planned with your actor friend.
my actor. Oh, the guy I humiliated. Right? Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, Quintilius is apparently going to speak some sort of an ancient primordial play, which I can only assume is going to be the words to summon Godric into the masquerade. For what purpose, we're not sure, but given his whole vibe, black primordial entity, vengeance against the nobility, hatred of Ao, 95% that he's going to try to kill the queen.
Actually, did Westora mention the end of the world visions?
No, I don't think she did. She mentioned
Yeah, no, I know she didn't.
Into the Worlds.
Yeah, you know, Magna.
She didn't mention visions.
Oh, yeah, we've also been having these visions, right? You wanna fill it like with the.
No, I
black
don't want to
ink
go
and
into
that-
too much of them, but the idea of which side we're on that you mentioned earlier, there is
Yeah,
the
we're-
sort of point that we have had visions where the whole world is covered in kind of inky blackness and desolation as a sort of like, this is what could happen, so we want to be on the side that's not that. Another vision where because we thought, oh, ring, bad, don't let Godric have it. And then we had a kind of vision where we got the ring, then Godric took the ring off us and bang, big,
Off me,
scary,
yeah,
us
yeah,
were all
that was
dead.
bad.
Which is, yes.
It was a good death scene though. I thought I nailed it.
I still have nightmares about the spike through my chest, so no.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make light of it, but it was really terrible.
Anyway, I don't want
Sounds
to
like
get
there's
us.
a lot of visions going around, including the ones Addis talked about.
Well,
Well,
it comes with being
these are-
fated.
Yeah, these are more like fate speaking to us and trying to tell us what to do. But
I'm familiar with the term.
Right.
all right then, well.
So we try to interpret as best we can. It gets a little confusing at times.
But we are very anti-end of most of the party is anti-end of the world. I know there's a part of me that's pro, but I tell them to because it's stupid and people deserve a chance to live. Having said that, if the part of me that if I'm ever like, hey, Apocalypse would be good, I've already told the group, but like if you were an inquisitor, you have carte blanche to stab me through the heart.
We need to get that ring.
See, we had debates about that went on for days.
I think I could throw some facts on the table that might make the arguments.
Oh no,
a
there
bit-
was never any sort of doubt that we should get the ring was a good idea. Well, sorry, that the ring should not be where it was a good idea. Now, having had visions of us having the ring and us all dying, that was bad. Not trusting Jill, and thus unknown members of the Law Mages, also not good. Trying very, very hard to get in contact with the Queen and failing to do so we have no idea if her close guard can help us, not good. Some outside entity wants to come in, take the ring, take it all the bloody way out of the country, off into the back end of nowhere. Not the nicest place to go and sort of lose track of an extraordinarily powerful ring, but a damn sight better than any other options we were able to come across at the time.
Magna, she was about to say something.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I can possibly help you with the Queen and some other things that you've mentioned, but it keeps going back to triage. As far as I know, I'm the only one of the Inquisitors that you have to deal with this evening, morning, today, hopefully. And I can keep anyone that shows up off your scent for a little while until we can talk a bit more and hopefully develop some plans to deal with this ring and some things that are going on that you don't really know about, and I'm sure some that I don't as well, such as that mark on Jill's hand and the ring of yours that is still spelled that is from one of my dead compatriots. But For now, there's still the issue that rests upstairs in the chateau, because I
Yes,
haven't got
Magnus?
that thing out of my head since I showed up, and your friend worries me deeply.
Actually,
Uh,
what happened to
Yeah, where
Garth?
are they?
I would expected him back down by now. I should. Hang on, I'll go and see what Garth's up to. It's not like him.
I'll nod. Sort of sitting, kind of eye Anaïs, like suspiciously and curiously. Like he's just like, you can see he's like racking his brain, but he's just like not getting anything.
I'm more than happy to keep an eye on the chateau if you want to go upstairs.
So Magnar
Well,
heads up.
It would be safer in my hands.
Is that compared to mine or compared to the others? Because the first one I'm gonna agree with. The second one I'm not so sure.
Was mostly thinking about you, but it is my job, and as I said, my city. Your chateau will be safe if you pop upstairs for a few minutes to see your friend.
I do like that honesty. Well, let's at least wait
I'm-
for two.
If you choose, I'm going to finish that bottle of wine that was store opened.
As you guys wait and sip on your wine and scotch, time passes. First a few minutes, then 10, then 15. Not a sound from upstairs.
Okay, that is weird. Listen, I'm gonna sound like a fucking infant. Do you mind coming to check with me? Because that thing that Addis is looking at Addis scares the fucking shit out of me. I don't think I want to confront it alone if it's up there.
That's. You should be scared of it, but this kind of feels like something that I shouldn't be involved in, as long as you're sure they wouldn't mind my presence at a time like this.
I'm not sure of anything, but I'm more sure that they would be upset if I went up there and had a poor reaction to it and that came back to bite them than if that I went up there and there was somebody there to crack me over the head.
I've had enough alcohol to consider it, so
Yeah, please.
lead the way and I'll come along.
Stands up, sort of like
As you guys walk out,
carrying his sword over his back and walks
you
upstairs.
see Addis's door swinging to and fro, just lightly hanging open.
Divine sense.
As you cast Divine Sense, the first thing that you notice is that Anaïs shows up as human, which seems unusual for having so much information about you. And
Yeah, also
two,
he did notice the straps on her back. He just hasn't commented on that yet.
you're sensing an apparition.
All right. I'm gonna cast. I looked at him. I used to say, "I'm not sure how good you are with these things, so I'm gonna cast protection from evil and good, and then I'm gonna open the door and walk through. That's on you. So
All right. Anaïs, as you're kind of following behind, as Hadrian pushes the door open, all you see is these 7-fingered hands, almost the full size of a person, reach out, gray, crinkled, warped skin and flesh, reach out from the shadows, and as it envelops you, both of you, in a single grasp, you just see hundreds of eyes staring back at you, and everything goes dark. Next thing you all know, you find yourselves engulfed in total darkness, laying on your backs against a hard, solid surface. You can hear strange singing and music from somewhere, seemingly muffled by whatever surrounds you. It is cold and chilled. And a waltz plays. As you look around, you start to feel around, and there's a solid... Magnar, you would immediately recognize worked stone around you, as the rooms are sort of thick and heavy, and you kind of push, instinctually kind of start pushing around, trying to figure out what's going on. And as you push, you can all hear the grating of stone as you lift these heavy lids off, and you see this brilliant warped aurora of a sky. Trees twist and warp, seemingly stretching into hands, reaching out for each of you. These old rotted woods. The whole place is just this nightmarish, dark realm. As each of you kind of pushes your way and kind of lifts yourselves out of the sarcophagus around this old rotted graveyard. Magnar, above your sarcophagus dangles a hangman's noose, swaying to and fro. Addis, you hear a familiar crackle of lightning and gout of fire echo in the distance. Wistora, the colors around seem to be slightly distorted and gray. You're used to seeing much more vibrance, and you feel more distant from your magic than you've ever felt before. But yet there's a familiarity here, a strangeness to everything around you that seems reminiscent. Not the same, but reminiscent of the Feywild glades that you've passed through. Anaïs, you feel sores on your back and can feel the wet stickiness of heavy blood dripping down your back. And Garth, Barry is gone. Seem pulled in here. And there's this fear that you can hear in the echoes of the cries of the people around. The sounds of your tribe that night. The screams. Your feet still sore from running for so long. Cries for help, cries to run. The howls of the beasts and zombies, just faint echo. As Hadrian, you push the sarcophagus up and your hands drip with blood. Your body covered in plate mail, splattered, covered in blood, as you all look around and see each other. And Magnar, your hands are burnt. Your robes tattered and torn and ancient. And you hear the lecturing and chanting in the distance and the ringing of an anvil. That same ringing that haunts your dreams. And you feel that soreness in the chest as you look down and can see the scarred up old wound of where that that spike had pierced through. You can feel the grits of stone like in your skin as you kind of pick and try and get rid of that sensation of the grittiness of the stone.
We all see these things.
And you all see each other, and you all see these things and hear these things. But each of you only recognizes and understands distinct pieces. As Addis, you know this is what you were looking for. Somewhere here lie the answers. You haven't wanted to look, but you need to look. You need to find them.
I feel like with Addis, for a moment, everyone looking around doesn't see him before they sort of notice that there is a crumpled figure sort of next to one of the sarcophaguses that is probably, from what you can tell, probably 6 foot, covered in this sort of extremely torn and tattered like black robes, and has a sort of quarterstaff slung across his front, and sort of seems to be sitting there. You see these like black, burnt, desiccated arms sort of poking out from underneath the robe, clutched around this staff.
The wind seems to carry the strange sounds of whatever music is playing. You've all seen this place before. You've been here before in those nightmares, those things that haunt you at night, things you try to forget. And yet, at the same time, there's the pleasant sense and memories of fond dreams, little trinkets, totems, little markings and carvings of pleasant memories and thoughts and ideas that you've had and didn't dare share those fantasies. This strange sort of weird twist and blend.
I immediately go over and try and heal the gouts of blood spurting from Anaïs's back, but other than that, I'm just sort of looking around, freaking out. He's sort of trying to solve the one problem in front of him. Someone's bleeding.
You feel the sharp pain of like the wounds trying to close and stitch, and bones that are supposed to be there trying to crack and put themselves into place. But the wounds just won't go away.
It's fine. Don't thank you. It's fine. It's good. What is this?
Frosty, I don't know how familiar, like, you said this seems familiar to me, but it's not quite the same. Would it be
Reminiscent.
reminiscent? Would the Shadowfell be something like this, or would it be something else
That-
entirely?
Shadowfell, you don't have a lot of experience with, but what you would imagine it would feel,
Yeah.
and your imagination and what you understand of magic would be that it would be more the antithesis of what you're used to, sort of an opposition. This is
that's why. Yeah, that's why I thought. Yeah. So this is not that.
no. This has the same sort of phantasmagoric whimsy, the sensation and unusuality, the surrealism that you're used to in the Feywild, but more uncontrolled, more chaotic, and
Bad.
a little bit untethered, untamed, less about the imagination and nature, more about the deeper seated things inside the mind.
To your question, Anaïs, feels. You heard us mention dreams and visions that we can co-occur in.
I actually didn't catch the co-occurring part.
Ah,
It's also magma. It doesn't feel like that. This is
This is different. It
Barry?
reminds me.
say that, but hang on, Garth.
Has anyone seen Barry? Anywhere?
No,
That's
I've not.
probably a good thing, right, for the moment.
It's probably a good thing for Barry.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. I need him.
Yeah, but do you want him trapped here with us?
It's the labyrinth.
You'll see Hadrian shaking his head like he's terrified. Of something.
This reminds me a bit of the Feywild, but it's very different.
Well,
the
so
dream
the
realm.
only reason that I mentioned the dreams, and I get that this could be a transdimensional or other experience, but I've no idea what on earth is going on with my hands. But the chest, my chest, you can see the wound from the spike where we died in the previous vision.
Previous dream.
The thing is, the dreams we received previously were sent to us by the gods. This seems different to that.
There.
Nightmarish.
It's
More. There's some, like I said, it reminds me of the Feywild. The Feywild is a place of whimsy, where the Fey kind of sort of create their own reality, I suppose. Like maybe a way of thinking about it. I'm not quite sure, but this feels like that, but darker, different.
Like we don't want to meet whose reality this is.
You definitely do not
something
want
like
to meet
that.
her.
Garth will
Yes.
loose an arrow in the distance, just in a random direction.
Did you fire the arrow in a direction? Make a wisdom save.
You killed the being that created this world.
Roxy, do I have AC a plate, by the way?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Nice. 25, not 20.
As you shoot the arrow, it seems to fly infinitely. It seems to pierce through the moon, and you see as it flies into the sky, you can see the moon trickle blood down as the bloody rain starts to fall.
Oh, that's lovely.
Does it fall on us?
Yeah.
Well, at least I'm not the only one wearing red, then.
Am I the only one with Evil Dead 2013 references in my mind? Sorry. Take us out a bit. Sorry.
Good aim, I guess. I'm gonna go over to the crumpled figure with the staff and, hey, Addis,
Yeah.
you're smaller.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Do you know how we get out of here?
We have to find the answers, because the answers will get us out of here.
Do you know where we should look for those answers?
Everywhere.
As Addis says that, the forest and trees kind of get up and twist and contort, opening up this large pathway that sort of shifts and opens. And you can see sort of down the path more of these sarcophagi and dead, and this where the crags and rocks come in and form this pinch, and you can see giant gravestones risen behind it in front of a large wall to a great city that looks very much like Amaris. And as it opens up, you can see these way off in the distance, unfurling by the moon, this incredibly huge, terrifying red and blue dragon that crackles with lightning and red flame, enormous as its wings seem to blot out the sky, and it roars, cackling, sending a blast of fire and lightning through the sky. And I need Addis to make a wisdom save at disadvantage.
Boy. That's 3.
Describe Addis's terrified reaction as it is the manifestation of his fear.
Yeah. Sorry, give me just a moment. I'm having some headphone issues.
Mm.
Can I hear people talking? 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
having-
Oh, I'm
having an issue of my one of my headphones about to run out of charge. My other headphone won't connect, which is great. Sorry.
Can you hear anything at all? Did you catch what Frosty had said?
I can hear out of my left ear, but it's about to go out, and the
Okay.
right ear won't turn on. Is the issue?
Oh no.
Yeah, I can try and see if I can grab another headphones real quick.
Okay. Well, obviously we want to see Addis's reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's all good.
Yeah, but I'll kind of think. I know, like a path just opened up. We were told look everywhere for answers, so Astoria is just going to start walking down that path.
Hey,
I mean, what else are we going to do?
no. I know. It's follow the yellow brick road, right? Just it all
Can
seems
I-
eerily familiar. I hate it.
Can I discern a direction where I hear the screams coming from?
Hold it. Seem to be coming from all around.
Not doing on S isn't doing anything specific yet, but once we get a reaction from Addis, she's probably going to run to him.
All right.
Yeah, was the Hadrian will pull out his sword and just be. Was trying to talk to Addis, but it seems to be bad. So
Anaïs, do you have dark vision?
Yes.
It's D&D 5e, and she's not playing normal human, so of course she has dark vision.
To be fair, Addis doesn't.
You can
There are a few non-human races with that.
What is your unarmored AC, Anaïs?
My unarmored is. Let me check really quick. Sorry, I have to bring that up.
We don't have armor on, do we?
I have plate armor on apparently.
14.
14.
I don't need them.
All right. And then on your HP bar in roll 20, if you can put your max and your current, and there's 2 spots for it.
Yep. Will do.
Rusty, do I count as wearing plate right now, or is this just like a
Yeah.
hallucinate? Oh, cool.
Are we wearing our armor or not?
Garth, you would not.
Oh no.
Oh, I see. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
got it. Fears, right? I will not be activating necrotic shroud in this area. Thank you very much.
Oh, come on. It'll be so interesting.
No, I don't want Hadrian to. This is my fear. I'm not going to just like lean into it. Or will I?
All right. You should all see yourselves on the map. I'm sorry, audience, that we can't pull up the battle map tonight. So we're going to be doing this mostly theater of the mind, should encounters happen.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
we can.
Cool, yeah. It finally worked. Sorry about that.
Timing.
All good.
God. I don't know why it just it was like I don't want to connect. Bluetooth? Nah, what's that? So yeah, as Addis sees the giant dragon in the sky roar and the lightning strikes out everywhere, he bursts into flames. Like just completely uncontrolled, you just see blue flames go across his entire body. He starts to scream and collapse onto the ground. He's like huddled up against himself as you just hear him screaming, and you can smell the flesh burning.
And you guys hear a feminine voice whispering in the air, "Face your fears, my child. Face your fears. Look to me."
Addis, are you okay?
No,
He's on fire. I'm gonna cast Lesser Restoration on him.
Yeah, Anaïs is going to run over and see if she can help get the flames out. See if there's actually heat coming off them.
There is. They like start to singe and burn your hands like it was real.
Yeah, I will ignore those and cast Lesser Restoration, and I'll take damage. So how much damage do I take?
As you're both trying to put out the flames, you'll both take 3d6 damage
Ooh, ouch.
for 11 points. as you do manage to put the flames out.
After a bit, Addis is just sort of laying there, sort of in a fetal position.
Addis, get up, please.
Okay.
It's okay, man. It's okay. We're here.
Does it look like there's another path anywhere?
There is not. And in fact, as you try and go and like look for past, the trees seem to reach their branches out to stop you.
I think we just go where the stream takes us.
Addis, you said the answers. What was the question?
Let's just go.
Well,
I don't think any of it's going to make any sense unless we
on
just go.
this particular point, I think maybe knowing what we're looking for, if it's the only way out of here.
Plus, it seems like if anyone has answers to the questions, if anyone can guide us, it might be Addis here.
You have to be willing to guide us, though, are you? You take the lead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can do that.
Help him
Okay.
stand up.
We'll follow your lead, Commander.
I don't want to.
Garth, I don't think we have any choice.
As Garth kind of is sitting there, you notice he starts to shrink and get younger. And get younger and younger as tree branches and roots begin to creep towards him and slowly wrap around his childlike ankles.
No, Garth, we got you.
Yeah, with Store we'll go over to
And
Garth.
we'll find Barry. Barry is fine, and we will find him.
With Store will just hold Garth's hand and sort of just say, "Come on, I've got you."
Don't make me.
I'm
He
not
gets
going to make you.
younger.
I'm not going to make you do anything, Garth. But I know you can do it.
I'll take Westor's hand.
To do the branches start to recoil and unwind around your ankles.
Come on, let's go.
All right.
The record as we're moving, I'm healing Anaïs in my
Okay.
last stuff.
I should take that on my own hands.
You guys move forward, getting closer to the city. The large dragon head begins to turn to look at Addis. You are nothing. Run, cowards. Staring at you from the city, see booming voice carrying across the air.
We'd
And you
see
can-
Addis
as you all
turn
look,
and run behind a rock.
as you all are looking around, you can see these things, the many hands, the same hands that grabbed you, seeming arms moving through the trees, following and watching.
Anaïs will follow over to the rock and kind of look over it at Addis. How you doing?
Oh, great. Grand. Lovely.
This kind of thing happen to you all the time?
You know, more frequently. Did you know I'm a turtle in another world?
I didn't know that. That's probably a nicer world than this one, isn't it?
It wasn't. It really wasn't. No, it was worse.
This one's
Everyone
better.
died. Yeah.
Well, hopefully that means this one isn't going to turn out that way.
I keep seeing things just this terribleness, this black, it's everywhere and it's in everything. And it's because we failed and everything's dead.
It doesn't have to be that way.
We fight, we die, we run, we die, we die. I need an answer because I only see death.
Everything dies at some point,
Mm.
but it's what you do that gives that death meaning. If you run, then you succumb to that fear of death. If you fight against it, if you go against it, then that death has meaning. It's better to make something of the time you've got and face it than to run away and waste it all.
As the
Not-
story says that, I'll go off on my hand to Addis. My bloody fucking hand.
I'd offer your hand, but you notice that Stora's hand looks very painfully gripped. And
He's
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
as hard as he
listen.
can. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, and
Just
you
remember
have
what
to
you
see,
said.
Garth still looks like a little kid, like little kid Garth. So,
I'm pretty sure little kid's Garth could still hurt.
yeah.
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 Technically, we're 5'3" now.
That's right. So
Still taller than Restora.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Addis, get back up.
Get back up. As you get back up, and you hear the sort of grinding, crushing sound of doors opening. You can see off in the distance, way beyond this large area of gravestones and crags of rocks and cliffs that encircle up ahead, a door to the city open up. And beyond it, you hear the waltz music come blaring out and see a glorious party in a bright lit room that, Westora, you recognize. Magnar, you recognize. You both took the tour of the Winter Palace. And you can see these faceless figures dancing and waltz, moving around, twisting their bodies, contorting unnaturally. And Anaïs, you would recognize it as the Winter Palace court, a ballroom, as these amalgamations. And you, Anaïs, recognize some of these displays of color and markings on the clothes as very surrealistic, warped versions, like imaginings pulled from recollection and memories of different people that you would expect to see at the party, but they're all faceless and distorted and twisting in this uncanny way as the music blares. You can hear screams from the city as the dragon rises up and begins to blast the city.
I'm going to smile at Addis and say, you know, the only thing we can do in the face of possible certain death is laugh and dance. You want to go dance? There's a waltz to be had. And neither of us are dressed for it. Doesn't mean we can't enjoy it while it lasts.
How many versions of this have you seen, Addis?
Too many.
Do you know what happens next?
You're trying to find the one, aren't you?
Yeah.
The one where this doesn't happen. That's the question and the answer.
How we beat him. I
Well,
haven't found one.
you've gone
And
through.
That's my own fault because I haven't found one where I don't die. Because I really don't want to die. I wasn't big and strong before. I changed. I found a way to make myself stronger and better because I couldn't be a wizard. I couldn't. I couldn't do magic. And I finally did. I could, and I made myself strong, and I felt good about it. And I never really thought to think about a price. Ever since we've met, I've had about 5 years to live, maybe more, but 5 years minimum. Because my magic is killing me. So I want a way that we don't die. I need, and this is the only answer that I could. She's supposed to have the answers.
So you started talking with her?
Yeah.
I shake my head very sadly at him and just. The answers aren't always worth what they give you. And if the answer you find here lets you live, but in this state that I know and you know is a half-life, is that really what you're fighting for? To be lost in these woods, even if your body carries on. Your mind has always been the most remarkable thing about you. Is losing that to her really worth everything?
You guys see a faceless, beautiful, and in this ephemeral, diaphanous gown of white and silver, sort of threads and arms radiating off of bits of fabric and weave that seem to stretch and distort into the ether of the air. Distorted, and kind of as she moves, it twists and contorts, and the imagery doesn't quite match up as it blurs and shifts. She walks up to the door. Are you ready for the answer? Reaches out a hand. You guys can all see all of these spider-like creatures come out of the woods all around each of you. Millions of eyes, 6 arms each, 2 legs, gray cracks, cracked skin and flesh, withered and thin, moving through, kind of watching. She says, I'll show you the truth. I'll give you the answer. It's what you've been asking me for. Are you ready to see it?
Addis will look up at Hadrian
I look
and sort of, I need to know. And he'll reach his hand out.
I will try to stop him, but I'm assuming I don't. So it's like I just like no.
Contested athletics checks.
I can't activate. Can I use my bonus action to use my? No, it's too late. Well, I can definitely beat that if I don't fuck up.
I would like to spend some hero points, Rusty.
All right.
How many can I spend on a roll?
I think
Just
one.
I think you already beat Adrian though.
Yeah, you got advantage
For
what?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not at advantage. Yeah, you'd have beaten me.
Yeah.
By one.
Okay,
What'd you-
sorry.
Yeah, so Hadrian goes to grab you and you push him off and kind of reach out. And as you grab her hand, you understand the grand puzzle that's being laid out, the push and pull, and how you're being manipulated by the gods and chess pieces as chess pieces. And understand that and realize the truth. The gods don't care if you live through this. They will sacrifice you to end it. You understand and as your mind is getting pulled apart, as you see this woman's figure come into reality, all the rest of you, as she begins to materialize, need to make wisdom saves.
Jazz hands.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
All right.
I'm okay.
I have a 14.
I rolled a net 20, got 24.
I rolled a nat 1, and I am going to use my inspiration.
Ragnar, you're muted.
Oh,
Zoom muted, I think.
Zoom
Yeah.
muted.
it's all right. I rolled a nat 1, so I am using inspiration on that one.
All right.
Hero point one. 18.
It's an
Oh.
11.
Come on, you're the cleric.
All right. Magnar, will you roll a D100 for me?
That is an 8.
All right. We'll roll 1d10.
No problem.
That is an 8.
For the next 80 hours, you feel compelled to repeat a specific activity over and over again. Washing hands, touching things, counting coins, sort of a repetitive tick. Everyone else will just barely pass as you kind of shield your mind and kind of look away, recoiling from whatever this thing is instinctually, feeling almost like reality is cracking and breaking, and your mind warp and twist as you close your eyes and quickly try and recover. The last thing you guys hear is a message from Addis. Don't save the queen. And you wake up. Addis, you got to briefly leave each of them with a message, some wisdom or prophecy that you can feel free to spout about the comings and goings, or something you'd like to say to them.
Okay. I think start with Hadrian. And Hadrian, you would find a very strange sort of gift. That when you're waking up, the dollhouse would be next to you. And the message would be, don't let the children die. When everything burns, you can save them.
All right.
And then Garth would find all of the journals that over their journey Addis had been writing to try and help Garth read. It's a very, very messed up recollection and retelling of what's happened so far in the story. It features Garth as the central character called Girth. And it is all about him and the weird, very strange, stunted people who follow him around, basically as manservants, as Girth and his bear go around and save the day. And it's all translated into multiple different languages, primarily Orcish. And there would be a sort of foreword at one of in the sort of first book that would read, Garth, if you're reading this, you learned how to read, so great job, bud. Make sure that Barry doesn't die of alcohol poisoning, because that is a very likely thing to happen in the next few years if you're not careful. I'm gonna miss you, bud. Astora receives a pine cone, the fully silver pine cone. And attached to it is a little tag that says, "I'm sorry." And underneath is a letter that's just Addis listing all of the terrible shit he's done to Astora, and just generally sort of fucked up, you know, including, trying to coerce children into stealing a ring. And at the very end, it'll say, "Astora, I trust you can keep them safe from themselves mostly. I'm sorry that I wasn't brave enough." Magnar, you would find a beat up, just at this point, it looks like a lump of wood with metal wrapped around it, and you recognize that it is Addis's shield that he used way back when. And there would be a letter attached. "Magnar, when I first showed you this, I believe your remark was something along the lines of, 'What the fuck is this piece of shit?'" "You said it was some of the worst craftsmanship you'd ever seen, and you're right. I made it." "I think when we first ran into each other, we both were trying to be scholars. And I know while you can't hit things for shit, I think you'll be a better blacksmith than a scholar someday." And then Anaïs would also receive a little gift.
One moment. There's one more thing I got to add. That
Oh, okay. Yeah.
for what was left with Magnar. Magnar
Okay.
would find a paper with scribbles almost written in mad language, and a drawing of the fish with a whole bunch of arcane runes and primordial notes.
Anaïs, you see a strange book sitting in front of you. The title is Pears and Parsnips. And there's a letter sort of tucked into the front page that says, "I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know you because we just met. But you seem nice. And Hadrian didn't try to murder you, which is typically a good first step. I'm telling you, Pears and parsnips is the key to the entire thing. It all comes back to this. You have to figure out which pear will kill the dragon. One of them will, I know it. Good luck. And I think that would be it.
All right. I'd like to give everyone a brief moment to kind of process. Okay. As Addis, you step away with the mother of Miguel and begin to learn and study that which should not be known, but that someday you'll bring back with you to stop Godric and to save your friends. Because in the end, it was worth it. And with that, I think we're going to call this session. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for playing. Kovac, we're going to miss you and hope to have you back soon as you can. Kira, welcome. If anyone would like to catch up and find out where pears and parsnips are from or any of this, please check us out on YouTube at Andromeda Adventures. You can watch all of our past episodes and see all of the other adventures that the party has had and gotten into and Addis and catch yourselves up on the story. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We hope to see you next week. And with that, everyone say good night, Tasha.
Good night,
Good night,
Tasha.
Good night, Tasha.
Uh,